All right, there we go. There we go. So I did listen to the audio. I think Netball just had the audio super low or something, but I was hearing everything pretty loudly yesterday. After stream. So I'm streaming today. Well, I wasn't intending on doing this, but it's going to be because I decided to make a tooltip manager. For the, you can see I started working on some tooltip over here. It's pretty simple stuff, right? When I hover the mouse over something, it's just going to call to the tooltip manager, hey, I want to display a specific type of tooltip. And we just need to pass in the information that that tooltip wants to have displayed. That's it. So obviously different tooltips want different things to be displayed. So we don't know what that thing is. I figured, hey, this is actually pretty much right in my alley of just like handling data. Why not stream it? In other words, I'm fairly confident in being able to just get this done maybe like an hour or so. Hopefully less. So yeah, this is just like an empty, there's nothing really in this, just the image and the text right here. And so we, on our little manager object over here where we store all of our different managers, we have our tooltip manager right here. There's nothing in it right now. Well, not much in it. Alright, we can see that I made an enum here. I'm not even sure if this is the approach that I want for this. But we can see that we have this here. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is... One sec. There we go. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is actually not use a dictionary here. I'm not too sure. I really am not too sure what I'm going to do with this. I think we're going to have separate mechanisms working on this. So this is kind of going to tie into other things that I've done. If you're interested in the pooler, I think I've done it in a previous video, previous live stream. You can check that out. This one is just going to be on the tooltip manager. I'm not going to go into my other systems, but it's going to be tapping into the pooler a little bit because I have it. I'm going to use it. Ultimately, the goal is we just call on show tip. We pass in the tooltip that we need to have shown and some information about it, and that should be it. All right. I'm giving it a different approach this time. Instead of using a static instance, we're just going to have it through an event instead. So this is technically not a mono behavior. And yeah, haven't handled it like that. Anyway, oh sorry, this is technically not a singleton. It is a mono behavior. And we do have a tooltip class. And this is it right here. Okay. So let's break this down into steps. First step is this is just pseudocode right now. So public. All right.
this is not a phase, my dear. Time heals the moment, but our hearts were frozen, don't disappear. You were scared from not knowing, but I got a feeling that I'll be right here for the rest of my life.
Okay, yeah. And that's pretty much all we're going to need, I think. And then from here, we can do... Hmm.
Tell me stories that I've heard 1,001 times before. I bet. Let me fall into your eyes all over again. I'll be right here for the rest of my life. Just know that I'll give you love you never wanna share tonight. Tonight. But if the world isn't working the way that we found it when we were too young to love, our attention is running, 5 seconds is burning a hole in our racing hearts. I wish we could find the space, a great escape, where we could finally break the mold. If it's us that we're wanting, we're happy after the fall. And I don't wanna change it all. And I don't wanna change it all.
What? What? Tooltip. Oh, whoops. Yeah. Okay. That was dangerous. Oh, oops. I was ignoring OBS. Give me a second. Not even sure if I'm streaming. It looks like I am. Okay. Okay, so here now we need to do, I guess, a match. I haven't used... It's not a match, is it? It's a switch, I think. Yeah, C# switch. There we go. Yep, okay. Oh, we don't need to break. We can turn. Okay, that should do it. And then now, as we create new tooltips in our game, we can just increase this switch statement. That's the idea. Meanwhile, the pooler is handling this skill tree prefab that we're going to be putting here. And it's just going to be the prefab that is related to that. So I don't think we even need this. And do on show tip. Oh, actually, it should just be equal to generate. Yep. And if this doesn't exist, we don't want it to be part of it. Okay, what's going on here? There it is. Okay. For some reason, OBS always loses my information. Give me one more second. It's... There it is. There we go. Awesome. And that's actually all we need to do. Oh no, we have one more thing we need to take care of. There we go. And that's legitimately all we need to do to centralize our tooltips for right now. We just need to create apply info over here. So this is going to be actually a public abstract class. Okay, there we go. So now we can create now the types of tooltips that we want to have, so we can have our different tooltips now handling their different stuff. Right? And they can each animate, they can each control their own animations now. We're going to make that in a second. Just give me 1 sec to double check something. Pretty simple. Like, when I actually know what I'm doing, like I actually kind of look competent, you know. But we're almost done. Hopefully this will be done in another 20 minutes or so. So we need apply info here. Apply tips. So this should be apply info. Now we have one reference. Okay. So now let's go back over here. Unity. We have this class that now needs to go because we don't need to use it anymore. Now, oh, I think Unity, oh, there it is. Move component. Okay. So, let's be good programmers or / game devs and put our scripts in the right folders. So over here, this is a component under UI, and we're just going to create a new folder for this. And we're going to call it Tooltip. I'm trying to, because when I came back to this project in Unity, I basically approached it from a Unity perspective, but I think there's certain things about composition that I want to transition to. I just sometimes, like when I'm doing this, it just feels better to use composition instead. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this and this now need to go here. There we go. Okay. There we go. So now we're going to make the tooltip that's supposed to go on this object now, which is the skill tree nameplate. I think we're just going to have this being the only tooltip we're going to use for the skill tree, because the other one is a window. So we're going to just be generic on the naming. Skill tooltip. Okay, effectively the video is technically done because I already did the manager. So if you wanted to just, everything else should basically be pretty obvious what I'm about to do. But if not, I guess those who are in the future that are watching this can move along. If not, they can stick around and see how I implement it. But for the most part, the manager is this. Oh, whoops. Since I moved the files, they moved. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, so skill tree tooltip. Okay, so this is the manager. I'll break it down real quick. We can get rid of this. We don't need to use it anymore. Okay. So first we just created an enum. This is technically not even really needed. Right? Like there's another way I could have handled this if I wanted to. There's another way I could have handled this. Like I could do it like this. Okay, so now I can pass in the type of tooltip that this should be. And then over here, I could just now get rid of this altogether if I wanted to. And then over here, I can check, instead of doing a switch, I can do if this is, and then I could just have the list of my tooltips if I wanted to do it that way. Like, you know, I'll just do it so you can see it. Is that? Hmm. One sec. I don't think that works. Nope, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, so we have to use if instead of switch. Why is this unreachable? How is this unreachable? Unreachable code detected? That's interesting. There we go. Right, so we could do it this way instead. And we would eliminate the enum. Pretty cool. Does that work in... I think I tried that already, right? Well, let's see if this works in a match. If it does, then we'll do it that match way. Or is it... It's not match, it's switch. Whoops. Keep doing that. Like, Godot had my... Or GD script has my brain on match. What was it? Tooltip. Oh, oops. Does that work? Nope, it doesn't. Okay. Cannot implicitly convert bool to system type. This is... Maybe if I do it like this. Cannot implicitly... Oh. No. Darn. Darn. Okay. I mean, we could use name of instead. I don't know. Alright. It's cool. This works. It's fine. But there'd become some cool things, like I can permutate that out into other things if it was that worked. I'll goof around with it later. I'm wasting time. I promised 1 hour. I intend to try to keep that promise. Anyway, so yeah, basically this is like the 75% version of the most optimal way of implementing this tooltip. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into this. This is just my pooler. I can call pull on any object, effectively pooling this object or throwing this object into a pool. Anytime that generate tip is called, it's just pooling this from whatever we have. And that's it. Oh, that's what we can do. Hmm. Hmm. One sec. Actually, it gets a little bit trickier. Give me a sec. Which way is more efficient? I think get parent is more efficient. I'll do it that way. Or. Okay. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Sorry. This is not right. I really don't like that it defaults the first one to that. All right, so basically what I'm adding here is just a reference to the prefab and what its parent wants to be. So if we assign one here or not, it's going to have a parent, or it could just appear in the scene. Regardless, it's better anyway if I put a parent on it. So we're about to do that. Give me a sec.
Come and set me free.
Well, that's a neater approach. I like it. Okay. So then we can just do this. Next. So we need to validate, and we need to do one more for... Okay, there we go. I see. I'm thinking this through. I don't want to control it by code, I think. I want to let it be... No, I need to control it. Like, if we want to dynamically add something new later on, I guess. Like, we want to create a new tooltip data. Okay. So now when we get this, we don't need this anymore. No, I think that's good. So we don't need this. Oh. Okay, we're good. I like this version. I'm just goofing around with it, really, but I'm liking how this is set up. You'll get to see what it does in a second. It's pretty cool. Neat. Uh... Actually, let me show it what it does right now. It's pretty simple. So basically, we just gave ourselves access to this. So we can just go ahead now, like where we have right here, and like over here, we can just assign I don't like it. I don't think you can serialize that type anyway. Let me see. Maybe. I never tried this. I'm about to try something new. I mean, it'll work the way that I'm about to do it, but I don't want to do it that way. I don't think this... there we go. Let me just type it over here, see what happens. Would be cool if it did work, but I don't think it does. Pretty sure it doesn't. If it did, what would it even look like? Like, it shouldn't work. Did it save? Yes. Yeah, it doesn't work. I think we can do it. We can go better. Let's do it this way. Instead of the problem is here. Okay, and then we can just get rid of both of these. Okay, good enough. I don't think this will be 100%. What am I getting here? Post B skill tree tooltip. And we go name of that. So it should be skill tree tooltip. And then what are we putting here? It's just going to be tooltip. Hmm. Hmm. The issue isn't so much where we're getting it from, it's what we're doing with it. But this is the problem. Because this is going to always read back tooltip, I think. I'm pretty sure that that's what it's going to do. So even though this isn't actually tooltip, I think when we use name of, it will get back tooltip rather than getting the inheriting class. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Okay, that should return the actual class now. The actual class's name. I like it. That looks cool. Alright, so this should work now. Basically, this is... Is there a way to optimize this is what I'm looking at? First, it's not a hard hit, but it's... It doesn't really matter, I think. For tooltips, I don't think tooltips are going to be popping up so often that we need to worry about this. If we need to worry about it, I'll come back later, but this is less than like 0.00 ms of... It's nothing. Alright, let's go back. Alright, let's save and go back. As soon as... Alright. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now we need to make the other side of this, which is the iTool info. Just need to make like a generic...
Let's go. Free throw. Let's roll. Act like I got cheat codes. Let's go. Free throw.
Alright. So what we need to do is inside of here, we're going to do public class which is going to be our concrete class, and it's going to inherit iTool info. Right? Basically, it's just going to have all of the stuff that this is going to need in order to operate properly. And this should actually just be inheriting Tooltip. Which has this that we need access to. So let's just grab it, back down, and then we just do an override. Okay. And we know that the only thing that we really need from this right now is just the names. So we can do something like I think it was m text text. There we go. Going to be equal to info get info. Okay, so first over here we just need to tell it what its info actually is. So we're gonna go serialized field. Interesting. What's going on here?
I was going to write you a letter when I
Alright, we'll do it a different way. Instead, we'll turn this into a struct. Can we do that? With, like we can. Interesting. So instead of doing this... do that. It's gonna keep giving me errors. Okay, let's go back to this. What are you crying about? Oh, whoops. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. And it won't let me convert. Tooltip. Despite the fact that it explicitly is saying. Interesting. What am I missing here? No, that's not right. What am I missing? Feels like something is off here. Cannot convert type string to... Oh! Should be this, no? Am I missing something? Maybe I need to save? Is that what it is? Or it might be because it's a struct? Let me... Nope. I'm not sure. I don't know. What is wrong with you? What am I missing here? We're casting it as, or we're casting this as, it works perfectly fine on this side, but we're having a problem over here. ARP. Hmm. Cannot convert type skilled, but we know that T is or has to be iTool info, and we know that this inherits iTool info. So of course you can convert, trying that you can't convert. Missed something. Casted struct. Object? Are you serious? You've got to be kidding me. That is so dumb. Well, if we're going to make it an object, might as well make it a class. That's annoying. That is very annoying. Okay, whatever. Hmm. Okay, can't do that. That would have been nice. Cannot mark virtual static members. Alright, fair enough. I wanted to just see if that would work. Okay, so...
You dim the lights, it's no surprise that you're in my mind. You fooled me once, you fooled me twice, I ain't going back this time. We're breaking up, I don't know why. I know you've been fooling around. You better watch out, you better watch out. Why'd you gotta do me like that? 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 Why'd you gotta do me like that?
Okay, good enough. I really dislike this. I dislike that a lot. Get rid of it.
We're breaking up, I don't know why. I know you've been fooling around. You better watch out,
Okay.
you better watch out.
So let's walk through the process. We're going to call on the manager to pop up this skill tree tooltip somewhere. The manager already knows like who its parent should be, and it already has the prefab. So then all we're doing is telling the manager that we want this this type, and then we give it. We have to call create info, and we pass in whatever the info is that we want to create for that skill tree that's about to pop up. The manager itself will handle the pooling of the actual object that the player is going to see, and assigning its parent, as well as we need to pass in the position that it needs to be as well. Right, so let's do that. Right, there we go. And so now, once we do this, then we just go back to the manager real quick and let the manager... Or actually, let's not... I don't think we need to handle that in the manager. We could probably handle it over here. And let's actually just do it like this. Good enough. So now this will handle positioning the object based on the... Yeah, I think this is the best. I don't think we should use global positions for these. I think local position is fine. Because if it was... You see, if this was about not the UI, if we weren't on the UI, then I would say global position or world position is fine. But on the UI, we always want to use local positions. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so now we got to do the good work of hooking these things together on the game side. I think I'm pretty much done with the coding part. So let's go back to Unity. Could make it a little bit more optimal, but I think we're pretty good. So first things first, this is our canvas that we're working in. So you see it right here. This is the little element that we just we were testing out for our tooltips. So let's create a parent for it. That's going to be part of this canvas. So testing is, this is just an empty game object, right? Testing is the canvas itself. So we only care about the local space within the canvas. We don't. That's why we're not going to be using world space. Otherwise, things get really wonky. So we want to create a new empty object. This is going to be the parent for this tooltip. Okay, there we go. And so we just zero this out. We don't really care about its width and all this other stuff, and we're good there. This thing's position should be now, if I move it around, let's go back to scene view. Its position here, because the parent's position is 0, is still relative to the canvas as 0. So we can move it around freely, and it will appear where it needs to appear. We're going to add a tweening animation to it after we make sure that it's even working the way that we intend for it to work. But you can see the changes over here. It's like 0, 0 should be like somewhere around right here, if I remember correct. So actually, we could just do it here and see what happens. Oh, okay, there we go. 0, 0. I thought it was down here, but apparently it's over here. And let's test that out, right? So if we go here, yeah, you see it's still the same, 0, 0. So let's do it like that. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, so this is local position. They never show you the global position over here. If we did a quick way to test that, you just click debug and you'll see it right here. All right. So if you didn't know, now you know. Normal. Okay. So let's build this out a little bit. We know that the tooltip is supposed to have this on it. Skill tree tooltip class. We know that we don't need this, do we? Yes, we do. ¿Por qué? What is this? This is TextMesh Pro GUI. Tooltip. TextMesh Pro. Oh, GUI. There we go. Okay, good stuff. so now the next step is I think we need to go to the actual nodes now, and then when we hover the mouse over the nodes, let's hook this up. We'll make this pop up. We also want to turn this into a prefab, I think, so that way the manager will have something to target. 1 second. Manager is speaking of. So this is our manager right here. So we need to make a prefab, and we need to assign the parent for this. So this is going to be the parent right here. And we will store this as a prefab somewhere. So prefabs, skill tree. Okay, get rid of that. And managers. There we go. So now we have our tooltip prefab manager, right? Okay, that should be good. So this is a list. We can just increase this for all of the different tooltips that we have. And we have our pool manager right here. And we don't need to worry about how many of them are active. The tooltip itself will be controlling its own activity. We just need to do that part. The pooler itself will just handle making sure we always get a tooltip. Okay. So we need to call it in code somewhere, right? Basically, we need to get to the node, and then on the node, when the mouse enters, it wants to show. We're gonna tell it to show the tooltip, what tooltip to show, and what info should be on that tooltip. So let's go back to coding real quick. I think this is it, skill node UI, and we have it here. So this is a Unity setup right here. In order for this to work, like if you want to use this in your project, you must have this, and this is just a plain Unity system. You automatically get this, create a new UI, but this facilitates all of this stuff working. Sorry. Okay. So now let's populate this. We need to worry about pointer up handler, pointer enter, and pointer exit. So right now we only care about these two. So we can just do something like tooltip manager, tooltip, what the heck, tooltip, there it is. I don't know what was going on there. Show tip, and the tip that we want to show is the skill 3 tooltip. And the info that we want to show is the skill create info, and we're going to pass in skill slot. We have skill slot.name, and the position that we want it to be is the transform local position. Plus vector 2 dot down, or vector 3, I guess. There we go. This will make it appear just a little bit below that. Let's multiply this by some amount. I think like 25 might be a good number, because this is the UI, so these are pixels if I remember correctly. So we want it to basically be 25 pixels down. Okay. Right, and then on pointer exit. There we go. So now we know we need a high tip, which means that we need a list of active tips. Okay, there we go.
I feel you burn all over me. One hit of you is all I need. Baby, I need a fix. All I wanna do is let myself right next to you. I'ma need a few moments just to touch on you.
Okay, we're good. Sorry if it's getting a little bit confusing, but basically I'm just implementing a way to ping this to get it to close the tooltip. That's all. It's nothing crazy. So where is it? Skill node UI. So basically, it's just giving this some functionality. And I think I'm going to make it private. So I don't think we need that. I think this is a duplicate. You get rid of that. And we could just change this to unhide tip. So when we call hide on it, we basically are saying unregister it. We get it from this. Then we do that, and then we also need to give tips, not remove tip. And that should do it. That should do the trick. Alright, so this should be failsafe. If we get nothing, then we just return. That's it. I feel like there's a better way of handling that, but I feel like this is okay for now. I don't know why. This is giving me that vibe. I think it's just in Godot you would handle this a little bit differently. And it would let this basically kind of control a lot more, which is a bit more safe in my mind. But this is fine too. Okay, so we just need to implement closed and we should be done. So we're gonna actually put that over here. Okay, there. Okay. So then over here, we just need to override it. That could be that. Looks fine. So first we apply the info. It'll display. If we move our cursor away, it'll run close. So basically, you could also do something like this. That just be good programmers, I guess. right? And so in the manager, we can call open when we register. No, register happens after, so it's when we do the generate tip. So first we apply the info, and then we do tip.open. There. Being good programmers. Now if somebody else reads my code for whatever reasons, they know what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. So now we can just go to this and override it, because we're going to need to apply a tween to this in a second. After we see that it's actually working. So actually, let's override it and then populate the override. Sorry about that. My brain. There we go. Open. So here we just do simply game object set active. True. And invert it. Gave me like every single autocomplete except false. That's funny. Okay. So now we just need to go back to the node and finish telling it. Oh no, it's already set up. So we just do hide tip, pass in the tip that we want to hide. It should, the tooltip manager should know how to get to that tip that we just did. It'll unregister it. Oh, we need to actually register. Let's go back up to tooltip real quick, and we'll do this. Now, why doesn't tooltip manager? Yeah, we spelled it correctly. Ah, we forgot to do this. Should we do it here? I think we should do it on enable. Because if we, for some reason, open up a scene and one is just there, we want to register it so that way we can always just close it as just part of the system's normal run. So, go back up here. Manager. And let's actually do that with this also. Don't need all of this stuff. Okay. Awesome. Alright, let's find out all of the reasons why we just made mistakes and try to run this thing. It should work. This is where the meat and potatoes is happening. So now when we move our mouse to the nodes that are going to spawn when we run, it should spawn one that's going to have the name of that thing that it's going to have that template and the name and stuff like that. That's what should happen, right? Find out. Let's play. find every reason. First, let's get some exceptions. Because I missed the... Oh, I didn't make it. Okay, sure. But... Oh, that's huge. Okay. So it's like reading me as there and then reading me as not there, but it's working. That tooltip is huge, though. Let's show it real quick. Why is it so... Why is the scale so large? Like, why is it... I didn't touch the scale at all, so I don't know why it's scaling like that. That's crazy. Yeah, it's just like scaling huge. Let's take a look at that prefab. I don't recall ever... Yeah, the prefab is 1. What is scaling it up like that? I don't... Unity, dudes. Text Mesh Pro, yeah, everything is 1. I don't know why it's scaling. So interesting. Alright, I'll just tell it to set the scale at 1. 1 second. That's a quick fix. I don't know why it's giving it 9. Tooltip Manager. I have no clue. There's always something. There's always something. Hey. Tip. Dot. Transform. Scale. Alright, let's see what happens now. As soon as Unity wants me to go back. There we go. That was extremely annoying. I would love to know why it rescaled it like that, though. Okay, there's obviously... some issues here. Probably because I gave it the offset. Give me 1 second. There's a couple of things that I need to touch on. First off, we want to turn off raycasting on this. And I think we need to also... Can we turn it off here? I do not want to have this as a raycast target either. Extra settings. There we go. Okay. So we don't want raycasting on that. And I'm going to just go over... So let's save this first. And I'm going to go over to Unity. Specifically over here. Let's take off this offset altogether and just see what happens without it. Because it might be in the perfect position without that offset. I just made the assumption that it needed the offset. Nope, it needed the offset. At least we know it works, right? And you can see that the pooler handling it on its own over there. Okay. So let's add back in that offset. Well, first off, we have an issue where local position isn't actually valid on this for some reason. I don't know why. Instead of doing it like this, let's do it this way. I don't know why I'm switching it around. I just have weird ideas all of a sudden, and I wanted to try it.
What's on your mind? Can I read it from your eyes? Can we lay and make the time stand still? What if we stay? Pretend there's nothing else.
Let me make sure that we do not do this. Okay, good. Yeah, these are the last two things we do. Awesome. Okay. So I think we need to do one more thing over here in skill node UI. We need to change this. Just being. Okay, so now we're letting it control its own offset instead of us telling it what its offset should be from somewhere else. This will lend us to being able to debug it a little bit easier as well. Let's do that. We go like this. Oh, come on. What is up with this thing, brother? I don't get it. Which one was it on? Let's go to the core node. There it is. Is that one of these things is not like the other for sure. Get it. It has something to do with how Unity likes to handle its UI scaling, I guess. That is sad. Like, this is the stuff that people hate UGUI for. Like, it's just the most random... it's just the most random things that UGUI does. Like, you notice how, for example, the font doesn't, the font appears above the foreground, while at the same time the image will appear in the background, even though they're supposed to be on the same layer and they're both in the same, like, it's just random things like that that people really dislike about UGUI, that you just bump into as you're developing. Like, that shouldn't be a thing, and go, oh, that's definitely not a thing. You do not see that ever happen. How are we going to handle this? Because right now it's telling me that the scaling is perfectly fine. But obviously the scaling is not perfectly fine. At least the positioning is fine. Let me turn down the scale. Yeah, let me turn down the scale. Oh, what's going on? Don't even know what's going on.
She's everything I never knew I wanted. And money won't buy her happiness. Yeah, she's my kind of glamorous. Natural beauty. What a solid.
We're going to bypass something real quick.
Can't figure it out. I never thought that I would find someone that I can't resist. This might be as close to heaven as I will ever get. I see perfection and a heart of gold. Always got my attention. Beautiful soul.
Okay, we're going to turn that one off first. Maybe that'll fix it. It might be because it's going from one parent to the other parent or something really quickly. I don't know. This is crazy. That's nuts that I have to do. Crazy. I'm like sick right now because of that. I probably just need to do some reading. Let's set the offset core node. Tooltip. So let's set the offset we can do down here. And we're going to decrease the Y by, like, let's say 17 or something. Too deep. There we go. And let's move it over to the right a little bit. We can call it probably 8 and -4. 0.5. A little bit more. I don't think we even need the animation, to be honest. I like this. I don't know why Unity is... Because we all saw when I had the original one there, like when this was just in the scene, it was the correct size. When I go back to the prefab, it's all ones. Then it just automatically bumps it up to like 9 something for some reason. So then it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. I can't figure it why it did that. I have to find out, I guess. Like, it would be nice if it was my code that was causing it explicitly, but there's something implicit happening and it's frustrating. I'm tired of bumping into these little issues like this. I really am. Okay, well, this is good enough. And that's basically wrapping it up. That's what I wanted to take care of on stream, just to show like how it's done to set this kind of thing up. Pretty cool. And obviously you can get even more complicated with it. You saw I even added like just setting up which child it wants to go with without having to change the code too much. You can imagine that you can get as complicated with this as you want to get. Display whatever it is you want to get. I still like the laser beam streams. Awesome. That is cool. Let me see how, if I can, want to change what they look like a little bit. I don't know if it will work at runtime. I think with animation curves, you have to do it at build time and then test them. Because I think they need to be baked, if I remember correctly. Or maybe I'm misremembering. We'll find out right now. Okay, so instead of doing a curve like that, I'm going to do a curve like this. How does it look? Okay, sure. This. Oh, we don't have to bake it, which is cool. I think I liked it before the way it was. Okay. I think this is probably the better way. I think that's it, boys. That's it. That was everything that I wanted to show. Hopefully that was helpful. Everything else would just be me goofing around with this. I still got to figure out why the UI is treating prefabs so horribly, because it was doing it before with other prefabs, where it would, when you add the prefab, when you instance the prefab to the scene, it would randomize the scale of the prefab for some reason, despite the prefab coming from that scene, and despite the prefab storing itself with these values. Suddenly something is changing the values internally, and it has nothing to do with anything I'm doing. It's just you call instantiate and the object just goes crazy with its scale. So I don't know. All right, but yeah, so you saw the nodes come out. We spawned them over here, and we can just mouse over them and we can see the result. Let's actually store that information on the prefab over here. What was the offset again? I think it was -5, and I think it was 12. Let's just test that. No. What was it? I think it was negative. Oh no, I think it was 5 and -12 or something. Or 12 and -5. Yep, there it is. Right, so another time I'm going to make the rest of the UI where when I left click it, it's going to open up the menu over here. That's the next thing, and you get to see more information about what's here, and then you can like level it up and all other good stuff. But for right now, I needed to get that out of the way for debugging purposes down the road, because it'll get hard to track as the skill tree goes further out without something. All right, that's it. Hopefully that was helpful, guys. Have a wonderful day. Take care.